Hail the King of Northumberland.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon Review for yet another transfer epic show. Names just keep on flowing, don't they? Absolutely flowing like a river into the sea. It's incredible. The amount of names that have been mentioned with Newcastle United just seems to keep going up and up and up and up and up. And for us, it creates obviously very, very good conversation. We knew it was going to be a busy time for us presenting on the channel. And it certainly looks that way going into the summer, considering the transfer window hasn't even opened yet. We will, however, start on one man that is going to be coming to the club, and that is Dan Ashworth. A fantastic appointment for the club. I know Billy's been doing some research on him and seeing what players that he's little diamonds that he found for his previous employers. So that should be interesting when we get round to that. And it just gives everybody a boost, doesn't it? A bit of a kick to say, let's not worry here. Dan's now in. We don't have to wait till November for Dan Ashworth to come in. Everything's been agreed compensation-wise and just waiting for paperwork clearance from the Premier League. And then he starts. And I have a feeling, Alex, as we were saying last night, he's going to be straight down to work and straight into player discussions with Eddie Howe.
Yeah, I'm sure he was doing things on the periphery anyway. He just wasn't allowed to actively be involved or be there in person. I'm sure he's done bits, which is probably not allowed, but you know how it works. Which is, to be fair, as soon the day he was announced, it was yesterday, we had rumors regarding everything sped up in terms of the Manchester City scout we're rumored to be interested in. Player transfers, everything accelerated sort of around his appointment. Whether that's coincidence or not, I'm not sure, but we'll see how quickly he can get the ball rolling.
Now, Billy, obviously, it's your first time on the show since Dan's been announced. What were your feelings yesterday when you saw that finally compensation had been agreed?
Yeah, I thought it was always was going to happen. It was never not going to happen, but I was relieved that it happened before we start doing our spending. And the blueprint has probably already been laid down, as Alex says. They've been speaking, no doubt, since before he was appointed. Even him and Eddie Howe. I noticed at Brighton when we played at Brighton, they had a long discussion as when Eddie was in the stands. So yeah, I think the blueprint that will be made up will be something to look forward to. I think we're going to see all the teams, whether they're women's teams, under 20s, 19s, whatever, they're all going to play in the same style, and therefore when they get to the first team, that won't be a big culture shock for them.
Yeah,
that's what I'm hoping for.
Michael says, "Hi lads, are the Toon announcing the new shirt sponsor tomorrow?" There is confusion over that because Castoria put out obviously an announcement earlier on today saying the new strips would be available to pre-order from 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. That was then deleted. So I don't know whether it's been a muck-up from Castoria's end or what, because it would be weird to pre-order the strips without actually knowing who the sponsor is going to be. Now, I've also heard that Fun 88 may well be the sponsors for next season because of when the takeover actually happened as to when Fun 88's contract is expiring. So it's still, for me, all up in the air. I mean, I haven't heard anything today to change my mind on that. I do believe that it will happen very, very shortly. It has to, because me and Alex were discussing yesterday. When it comes to the strips, they want to get them out there. They want to get them out there as early as possible. They want to get the sales in. They want to just, especially around the world as well. These people want to make Newcastle United a global brand. Therefore, the sooner the replica strips are out, the better they can start selling them. But certainly from Castoria's point of view, I found that very strange that they'd announced that the replica shirts were pre-ordered from tomorrow at 10 a.m., yet we don't even know who the shirt sponsor is going to be. And then on the flip side of that, are they announcing that because the shirt sponsors aren't going to change? There's nothing changed with the sponsorship. I don't know whether you saw any of that today, Alex. It was very, very confusing.
I wasn't aware they deleted the post. I thought it was still on for tomorrow. That's interesting.
Well, it was deleted, but it may well have come back on. I don't know. I do know it was deleted about 20 minutes later, and then I didn't see it again, but people have told me that it may have gone back on.
Well, in regards to the Fun 88 thing, I think there was a photo that's been doing the rounds of somewhere in Italy who apparently had the new kit with Fun 88 on it. Mm-hmm. Nobody knows what's true, what's not true, and then so there's a few people saying we're still potentially going to have them on the new kit.
Yeah,
people in the other camp saying we're going to have Saudi Airlines or Aramco or different things. So it's very uncertain as to what the truth is.
There's been a lot of photoshopping going on today. I mean, I've seen Saudi Airlines. I've seen PIF themselves. I've seen Aramco. I've seen who else? I've seen Tesla. There's all sorts of going around on social media. It's ridiculous, and the fact of the matter is, I don't see why anybody has to sort of say, oh, it's going to be this, it's going to be that, it's going to be this. Let's just wait and see. And like I've always said all along since the end of the season, whatever happens will happen, and we'll bring you that on this channel. I'm not going to speculate anything or talk about rumors or anything like that.
Listen,
if other people want to do it, it's fine.
Nobody knows. People in high positions at Newcastle United aren't going to be telling Fred down the pub what's going to happen on Wednesday or Thursday, Friday. It's all going to be cloak and dagger, and no one's going to know until it's officially announced.
If Castori themselves are having communication issues, then what do we know as the general public?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's very bizarre. I found the whole thing bizarre today because clearly there's been a miscommunication somewhere. Because I would have thought, had we got a new sponsor, they would be announced before the replica shirts go on sale or pre-order, because Castori are going to have to show the shirts. They can't just put pre-orders up with no photos of what the shirts are going to be. So, we as fans, we have to know surely who the sponsors are going to be. And then obviously, it goes on the shirt. Now, another thing they could do is obviously make a joint statement, Billy, saying, right, these are the new strips that are still available to order, pre-order. These are our new sponsors, and make a statement such as that. It just seems all a bit confusing at the minute.
I would expect the club, as the middleman in both sponsors and the kit suppliers, to announce both at the same time. And it's the only way to go, really, because, like you say, we don't want to be kept in the dark as who the sponsors are, what the shirts look like, when they're coming out. It's going to be announced sooner rather than later. But as you say, for marketing reasons, just be patient. It's going to happen. It's going to happen the next week. Easily, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, one thing's good, though, Alex, is that it's all exciting, isn't it? It's exciting to see if these strips that have been leaked out are going to be our replicas, are going to be the strips for next season, and we can buy the replicas, obviously. Who the sponsors are going to be, who the signings are going to be. It does create talking points, and it does create that little bit of excitement that we obviously haven't had for a long time, even talking about sponsors and new shirts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm undecided on the shirts themselves. The other points, I agree with all of it. But as for the shirts, I mean, they're okay. They're okay shirts, and it's disappointing that I can't say more than that, because I was hoping, this was Castori's chance to knock it out the park. Because there are many kits, in the last sort of 5 to 10 years that people have at international level and club level where they've come out and we've gone, ooh, that's a nice kit.
Yeah, but there's not much they can do with black and white. Those black and white stripes is very difficult. I mean, they've tried to thicken them. We've had thinner ones in the past. We've had
but it's all there's a lot of quality shirts we've got throughout the history. It depends on the colors, whether it's gold or bits of blue, collars, no collars, trims. There are things you can do. We have some pretty kits that we really do, and I feel like this was their chance to knock it out the park and make a historical kit. And I don't think it is a historical thing. I think it's just it's a good kit. So I'm a little bit underwhelmed, but we will see. It might change from what we've seen. It might be tighter in areas. It might have different sleeves and trims, and that we just aren't. It might change. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll improve, and that's not the final design. And hopefully, once it's actually got a sponsor on it, it will look a bit better and sharper. And if there's a cracking new signing wearing it, maybe a little look even better. So we'll see.
I
like Alex says. I mean, we had Adidas make our kits from 1995 to 2009, 10. And every single home strip was a belter,
which many people bought. Yeah, there were everybody.
I don't think it's a bad kit. I don't think it's a bad kit. I just don't think it's a great kit.
But every Adidas one was, in my opinion. And
yeah, I agree.
The two Castori ones have been a bit naff, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree with it. I agree with you, Billy. I don't like the Castori ones. I don't like the fitting on them. I don't like the way they look. And I think Castori, in a way, Alex, I agree with you. Because it was a big opportunity for Castori to really, up the ante with the shirts. However, on the other side of that, I actually do like them. I like the green and white one. I like the blue one with the sleeves. I think that'll look more fuller when we do have sponsors on the front. Obviously, they'll look a bit threadbare at the minute because there's no sponsor there. But I think once the sponsor goes on, I think it does tend to fill the shirts out a bit better. So,
the black and white's still important for me, though. If you're going to go and take a marker pen up to a player, you take the black and white one. If you're going to frame it, you frame the black and white one. That's what has to be smashed for me. They've got to get that one right. The away and the third kits, they're decent. They look all right, but it's more about the black and white for me personally.
I mean, there's all this going on, and a lot of people are still talking about on social media. Why are the Premier League? Why do they have to approve this appointment of Dan Ashworth? And it's pretty straight. I looked into it a bit today, and it is simply, as we said yesterday, it is just clearance because there's a compensation deal in place. It has to be given the okay by the Premier League. Because if Dan Ashworth was out of employment, there wouldn't have to be a Premier League clearance for it because he would be a free agent to sign. But because there's compensation involved, it has to go through like a transfer, basically, just to make sure the paperwork's all in order, the compensation's all in order, and the Premier League sign it off. That's the reason. It's a bit of a pain in the arse, but look, there's no reason to think anything other than it'll be signed off because both clubs have agreed compensation. Good evening, George. Hope you're well. Suave says Zinchenko linked. I really want him. He played amazing against us. Also, I've noticed Target has still been liking NUFC posts on Instagram. Is that a sign? Zinchenko was superb against us at the Etihad, and listen, he's a very, very good player. He may be. Is he on our list tonight, Alex, to look at?
He most certainly is.
There you go. So we will cover him a bit later on. Billy, Zinchenko there's other clubs obviously interested in Zinchenko. I'm a little bit surprised that Man City would let him go because I think he's a very, very good player. But if we can attract Zinchenko to St. James's Park, I think that's a fantastic signing.
He is. He's a fantastic player. He's a centre midfield player, really. He's been covering at left back for Man City for the last 2 years after what happened to the previous left back and injuries to Kyle Walker forcing Cancelo to play on the right. So he can cover there also. But he's a very skillful, flary kind of player. You want to play for Ukraine. He's got a lot of nice touches in the middle of the park. Good pass with the ball. It'd be a quick acquisition for us.
So the homework you've done, Billy, on Dan Ashworth, is there any sort of players that you've noticed that stand out in his previous employment that he's, because he's had a few clubs, he's been working as a sort of sporting director at quite a few clubs. What players have stood out for you?
Well, he started at Peterborough. That was his first behind the scenes backroom job. 2000, he went there, and straight away the name of Matthew Etherington came into my view.
Right.
Obviously went on to West Ham, played in the cup final against Liverpool, made them quite a few quid in the process. Simon Davis, another one he got from the Manchester United Academy, came in generation after the class of 92 at Man United, went to Peterborough, then went on to have a good career in the Premiership also, Fulham and other places. And Sean St. Ledger, another centre-half, Republic of Ireland international, 37 caps. Don't think he'd made it in the Premiership. He played for Leicester for 4 or 5 years. But again, made Peterborough a small club, quite a few quid in the process. Spotted the talent young, got them in, and made a lot of profit on them by selling them on.
I was going to say that the names you've mentioned there, and Alex, we've discussed this in the past that Dan Ashworth at Brighton certainly brought in players that weren't world-renowned names, if you see what I mean. But by God, there's some decent players that he brought in there and that have made the names even stronger at Brighton. And, Billy's just rattled off a few names there. Not world-class players, but very, very good ones.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, Billy's definitely just earned a few points with my family and friends saying Peterborough are a small club because I've got a lot of Cobblers supporters in the family. So, yeah. So, I mean, we've touched on this briefly before about how he is the difference between. It's not necessarily just scouting, but even if you go through when we've been better at scouting, when we had all the sort of the French people coming through, when Montpellier won the league, and when we got Cabaye and that lot come through, it wasn't like it was groundbreaking scouting. We were poaching people who just won the league. It wasn't super, people gave our scouts a lot of credit for that. They were poaching very top talent. It wasn't a secret. I feel like we get too much credit for that. But what Dan Ashworth does, it is worthy of the credit. He will find people. He will find the talent that people are undecided on. Are they going to be able to break through? Are they physically able? Are they technically able? And he will spot people. Of course, they'll have other interests, but he's able to be a part of the process in finding. And it reminds me of the Eddie Howe approach at Bournemouth. He was trying to moneyball find players who were fitting the mold technically and physically, who they could coach into a role to be of value in the future, whether it was for the team or to sell on. And Dan Ashworth has a similar approach when he's involved in a club. Obviously, he's involved in a lot of things, whether it's facilities, but in Brighton, he's demonstrated that very well. Because Lamptey, I mean, there's 10 or 15 names that have been let go by Chelsea in recent seasons that have just vanished, and they've pulled out the right players. They pulled out Lamptey and Cucurella as well. Didn't quite make it. I don't know why he didn't make it in the Liga, but yeah, it's just recruitment. It just gives you an additional layer of recruitment, and it's going to mean we can fish in a different market. We're fishing in a market that we don't currently fish in. We're not very good at finding this at the moment, unless we just get lucky. Whereas it's not luck with him. He knows how to do it, and he's proven it. So at many levels.
Yeah. Well, the fact that we've been fishing in streams and puddles, we're now fishing in reservoirs and oceans. Exactly. I think that's a fair way to put it. So it is very different. Wiggles, thank you very much for your £5 super sticker, mate. Very, very kind. Thank you so much. Evening, everyone's. Imagine a midfield with Bruno, Paqueta, and Isco. Would be complete filth. Dylan says, looking like a kit reveal tomorrow. Not sure why Castoria deleted their post, though. Exactly. Neither am I. I find it bizarre. There's been a miscommunication somewhere along the line. Ab says, I was worried I would have Toon review withdrawal symptoms. Thank God for transfer gossip. We're still here, Abs. Don't worry.
I mean, all I can think of about Castore is they've had another big announcement today, haven't they? That they're going to be doing the Aston Villa kits.
Oh, well, I mean, can Villa copy anything else? It's bizarre. I've never seen a club do such a thing as to, steal our transfer targets from January. They then go and steal, the kit maker. They just want to be Newcastle United. That's what they want. It'll be Aston Villa Newcastle or Aston Newcastle.
I think this is on purpose. I'm getting the feeling that this is being geared up for the media to put us as rivals this coming season. I think there's more to this. It is. Yeah. I think this is going to be the Gerrard versus Howe, young English managers, both trying to break through into the big time. I think they're going to go crazy hard on that narrative.
Yeah. Mark and Danny say, hey, Paul, start on Billy. Heard a lot of Rashford talk today. What's your thoughts? I really think I'd be disappointed if we. I mean, they're talking. I mean, again, it was £60 million banded around. I mean, that is way too much for Marcus Rashford. I do not think he's anywhere near that kind of money. I've never, and I've said this all along, I have never seen Marcus Rashford as this great footballer. I really haven't. I don't. Yeah, he has the odd time when he does something. But for me, Billy, he's not one that would excite me.
Not at £60 million. A third of that, I'd be interested. Mm-hmm. The lad's never fulfilled his potential, but he has had injuries. He had a lot of injuries, and I think he needs to get out of Manchester United. It's a toxic club. I think if he gets out of Manchester United, I think he may flourish, but it's the word may. He may not also. So at £60 million, it's way too much for gamble for someone that may flourish. But if he does, I mean, I think he's got the potential to be a world-class player, I really do. I think on his day, he's a superb player. Just needs consistency and a run without injuries. I think he'll be a good player for someone, but not at that price.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems bizarre. I mean, what's your thoughts on Rashford, Alex?
Yeah, pretty similar to Billy. I think he could be world-class. I think he's got all the skill sets, technically, physically, to do that. I just think he's been in just the worst, probably one of the worst setups in Premier League history for toxicity, coaching continuity. It's just so poor. Even probably mirrored with Steve Bruce with us. It's just no, they didn't know what they were doing. They were changing tactics week in, week out. Everything was just so up in the air. I'd take him for a third of the price. I think with coaching and a settled squad and a settled system, take the pressure off him. I think he'd be brilliant. But it's a risk, and absolutely not for 60 million. No way. I'd pay 25 because it's a gamble, and even that's a gamble. But
to be honest, it pains me to even suggest giving Manchester United any money. Honestly, I don't want any dealings with that.
There's the potential we could drive prices down on things like that as well, because they are trying to raise funds to rebuild their squad. So if people start dangling Frankie de Jong and strikers in front of their face, and they need to raise a little bit more, it's not all crash and burn. There are things that can be salvaged from that mess of a club at the moment. So.
Fahad says, hello gang, hope you're all doing well. Bored due to no football. Hell, I've never missed a league like that in years. Can't wait to see our team playing again. Ryan says, just buy 10 of the tallest men and line them up on the goal line, plus Messi. Good evening, Stu, hope you're well, matey. Paul says, finally watched the Brian Robson documentary on Amazon Prime. What a player he was, and would have been a great signing for us had we been anywhere near the top in the 1980s. Yeah, he got a few nasty injuries though, didn't he? I remember when he got was it the World Cup he got when he put his shoulder out or something?
He originally did that against Coventry at Old Trafford, but kept popping out. Lloyd McGrath did it actually at Old Trafford, and he kept popping out. But I think Bobby Robson actually kind of mismanaged that England side a little bit.
Well, he did in '86, didn't he? Because he was forced into that change, and then he suddenly changed it to putting Beardsley up front with Lineker. That's when our fortune changed in '86.
He stumbled upon a side.
So he stumbled upon that side, definitely.
But what he should do was play Robson and Hoddle together, and not played Ray Wilkins.
Yeah. Toon Dave says it would make sense to announce a new sponsor on the first day of a month for contracts, etc. But we'll see what the club decide. Trulls has read that Everton won £85 million for Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Good luck for that.
That's just not going to happen. You what, Alex?
I said yen, 85 million yen. There's no way that's pounds.
Well,
surely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's mental. Dan has most been in contact with Eddie Howe and the team to discuss possible targets well before his appointment. Big Geordie says Shaman Ketty signed a new deal. Having scored that hat-trick against Sunderland, could have had him as the new Mackham Slayer. Yeah, he signed a new deal with Arsenal, hasn't he? Who was our most rated player of whole season on stats? Odd question, just curious.
I think it's Trippier, purely based on every time he was on the pitch, he did something magical. But that was because he just didn't play much. I think probably our most consistently highly rated player is Bruno.
Yeah, I thought as much. Toon Dave says, I thought you couldn't have gambling sponsors in Saudi. Well, that's definitely true. That is fact about the situation like that. But what they could do is, if Fun 88 still have, let's say, a year left on the contract, then obviously they would be the shirt sponsors for this final season of their contract, but they would sell the replica kits in Saudi without the sponsorships on the front. Which is why I'm kind of leaning towards, surely they're going to put a Saudi-based sponsorship on the shirt, which will then sell in Saudi. There's obviously a lot of thought gone into this in the background. But hey, tomorrow, I guess we'll find out a little bit more of the situation and what's going on. It's to me, it's all up in the air. But obviously, people behind the scenes will probably be knowing exactly what's going on. But as that happened in January, they don't tell us everything, and rightly so. Obviously the inside discussions and things like that, then they should stay inside for me. Stu, even Cheshire Paul, blah, blah, blah. How's all the troop doing tonight? Hope everyone is good. We are. Paul says just came from the Loaded HQ guys. Yeah, the great show on tonight they had, which is why I bumped mine back to 8:30 just so could watch their show as well, which was really good tonight. Not fun at 8 again, is it? Hopefully not. The Toon Review sponsors on Newcastle jerseys. Oh yeah, well, listen, if I had the money, if the channel had the money to be a shirt sponsorship for the Toon, there is no doubt that we'd have the Toon Review logo on the front of that shirt. But unfortunately, the funds don't quite spread that far. I mean, they're talking about 3 million quid or something to go on the front of the shirts. I mean, if I had 3 million quid, then I wouldn't be doing this in my living room. I'd be doing it in some sort of mansion with a fully equipped soundproof studio. I'd fly Alex in for every show on a private jet. I'd send a chauffeur for Billy, and we'd all do it in the same studio. But unfortunately, we're not there yet. Dylan says, well, all these in the know accounts on Twitter seem to think it'll be Saudi. Yeah, look, I want to discuss all this in the know stuff, right? Because there's a lot of people been sniping, right? At, especially since, we don't collaborate with Barry anymore. There's been a lot of stuff going on, bitching back and forwards. That's all ended, right? If there's any remarks around, other people's channels on here, they won't get read out. They'll just get deleted. And the same on social media, etc. Barry's now doing his own thing, and good luck to him. We're doing ours, and we are going to stick to doing what we're good at and what we've become good at doing. The four of us and the mods behind the scenes. We are here to do our own job and bring this to you as much as we possibly can. So from our side of the channels, we've agreed that there's no more bitching and bantering between any channels for that matter. We're not in competition with anybody, never have been. And I wish Barry's channel the very best of luck. I wish everybody's channel the best of luck. And look, we're all Newcastle United fans at the end of the day, and we're all going to do our own things. We'll report different things. We'll report, like we are tonight, looking at players that have been linked in the press. We're not saying they're coming. We're not giving you any dates of anything. But if other channels want to do that, then that's fine. But from our point of view, we're going to do our own thing, stick to our own thing, and do what you guys seem to like us doing. And we're going to continue to do that. But listen, everybody's channel, I wish the very best of luck of. The bitchiness and all that sort of stuff, it's stopped now, and it's not going to go any further because nobody's like that. We are all, decent people, and we all like to have a laugh, and that's what we're going to do and concentrate on. So, people go on Twitter saying in the know, that, is anybody really in the know? No, they get information, definitely. But is that information solid and credible? We don't know. If that information comes off, then fine, no problem. But from my point of view, as sort of running this channel, I'm just going to report, or we're just going to report on things that actually happen. So as soon as they happen, we'll bring them to you. But these shows are really good because it gets conversation going about the talent that's out there that Newcastle United could possibly sign. And again, we're not saying that they're signing. We're looking at the media linking players. So we'll have a look at them players, look at their stats, and see how they'll slot into the team. But now, moving forward, it's just all about good vibes. Let everybody do what they want to do, and let's just all have a good time doing it. Simple as that. Ian says, my local kebab shop, the Millennium, is sponsoring Newcastle. Well, Ian, if your local kebab shop has managed to sponsor Newcastle, then they must sell a hell of a lot of kebabs.
Steve Bruce used to go there.
Yeah, Steve Bruce has probably paid them off. Yeah, there you go. Let's have a look. Alex, have we got a player first up tonight?
We have. So, funnily enough, it is the name we previously mentioned.
Oh, wouldn't have to be Zinchenko, would it?
Well,
would you look at that? By the power of magic.
So, it's got to be named number one just based on quality, and the fact that he's been rumored. He's been rumored to have been leaving every single transfer window. There were a few transfer windows where Wolves were heavily linked with him as well, and that never came about. And he's gone through phases where he's not been as needed or wanted, and then he just puts in like incredible performances. I still don't quite understand why him and potentially Ake today have been told they can go, or if they want to go, they can, or they're available. I don't quite understand that, because this season their fullback position's been weird. They've had Ake play left back, Zinchenko play left back, Cancelo's moved around sides, Carl Walker's been injured, John Stones has played right back. So I don't quite understand why they would go in this direction with Ake being 27 and Zinchenko being 25.
Yeah.
It's weird, unless they've just decided, okay, they're not the fit, we're going to try and go in a different direction. Fair enough. So I don't know how much credibility there is in whether they're actually going to go. But if he's available, as Billy's mentioned before, he is also a midfielder. People only sort of identify with him as a fullback. Absolutely not. He can play in midfield, which is why he's so good at strolling into the midfield for Manchester City.
Well, I think midfield is his preferred position because, Billy, I think you mentioned it as well after the game at the Etihad, that he seemed to be sort of slinking into midfield an awful lot, and he looked very comfortable. So, yeah, I can definitely see that.
I mean, he plays in the midfield for the Ukraine as well. So doesn't really score, but I mean, we said that about Bruno, didn't we? But obviously that's Pep's tactic. He's got a very certain way of playing. If Zinchenko was going to start popping shots off from 30 yards, Pep would pull. I'm sure he'd find some hair to pull out from somewhere, because that's not how he wants this football played.
Are you talking about my hair or Pep's?
No, Pep's.
Oh, that's all right.
He doesn't like his players. You know, he wants the build up. He wants it worked into the box, doesn't he? So,
Alex, I'll just stop you 1 minute because we've had a fantastic super chat come in from Nawaf. Now, he has sent a lot in from Saudi Arabia. He has sent a lot of. He did send quite a lot in super chats during the takeover and things like that. 2,199.99 Saudi Arabian rial, which is incredible. So thank you so much, Nawaf. That is exceptional generosity. He says, Paul, Statman, an incredible Hulk. You are legends, although, Alex, your input is mint. Thank you so much, Nawaf. That is so kind, mate. Thank you very much. Fantastic generosity. And one other thing, Alex. Pilo Keith says, have we had any interest from other clubs for any of our players? Not that I know of as yet. But again, as soon as we do, we'll bring that to you. Okay, Alex?
Yeah. Where were we? Shots. So I wouldn't worry too much about his goals being 0 and his XG being low, because Pep gets angry if these kinds of players start doing things. He wants them to build the attack and push it to the forwards. Cancelo's the guy with the license to go and shoot because he knows he's got the quality. So, you know, he's got a job and he's got to stick to it, which influences his stats. So unfortunately, we can only look at his stats as a fullback. But we can still have a look and see how that would compare to midfielders. So attempting 85 passes per 90 and having that completion rate is still bonkers. And his progressive passes and progressive carries. I mean, he's a Manchester City player. This looks in a very similar way across the entire Manchester City squad. So this is much of the same. We know he's going to be able to pass. We've talked about needing players who can find answers to new questions. We're going to need to break down teams next year. We're going to try and be more dominant on the ball. And to have a player like this who is so comfortable in a dominant system would be perfect. It would transition so well. He could cover different areas of the pitch for us. And what I wanted to say in his SOFA score as well, obviously his SOFA score suggests he can play pretty much anywhere in midfield and left back, which we know to be true. Gives us another option as a left-footed player. I do feel like this is a bit low as a valuation as well, considering he's about to go into peak age if we're going to use him in midfield. So we can have a little look as well at 90, just under 90 touches of the ball. So he's very, very involved. Regardless of where he plays.
When he plays, whenever I've seen him play, he always seems to be very involved in the game, which is incredible.
Well, it will just be an additional player who we can give the ball to and trust when we're playing our system. At the moment, we typically try and gear it to Bruno, Shelvey, Trippier. We give it to certain players. We either give it to people who are going to drive, or we give it to certain players who we trust. He's somebody that can do all of that. We could trust him to drive with it, to be careful with the ball. Trust him in possession regardless of where he plays, and he would be an absolutely enormous upgrade for us in the squad going forward. He's got experience at international level in Europe. If he's available, absolutely yes, we need to beat other teams to his signature. I think he would be incredible.
Going back to that super chat from Nawaf, guys, that works out at £465. That is incredible. That is absolutely unbelievable. Nawaf, that is incredible. Your generosity is incredible. Thank you so much. All the way out there in Saudi Arabia. Thank you so much for that. That is just fabulous. Billy Zinchenko, how would you feel about bringing him in?
I'd be delighted. He's a fantastic footballer. He's really tidy on the ball. Covers more than one position. Obviously not going to get a game in Man City's midfield. It's not quite at that level. But he's covered adequately at left back. Not the greatest defensively, but he pushes everything from that left-hand side when they attack. Yeah, I think it'd be an awesome signing for us. And like Alex says, there'll be beat clubs after his signature. And if we can beat them to it, it'll be a massive state of intention. And I'd love to have Alexander Zinchenko play for us. Yeah, it'll improve our midfield. And if we need to play with him at left back or as left wing back, then we can slot him in there beautifully.
Well, yeah, because it gives us a much better option then, doesn't it? We've got options there, which is critical for us for next season, because we've been saying for the last few shows that it's very important that we're building this squad so that we can have a bench that we can bring on like for like quality, that we're not downgrading every time we make a substitution. How many times last season, the likes of Maxi coming off and replaced by a Murphy or someone like that who isn't as good. It's a downgrade substitution, whereas hopefully next season, this is what sort of hopefully Dan Ashworth and Eddie Howe are looking at, is now it's time that we made sure that our bench is just as strong as the players that we have in that starting 11. So if needed, we can make changes, but not downgrade on the quality. And I think you make a good point there, Billy. It's very important that we start to do that and have that kind of utility as well. We've got another 100 Saudi Arabian Riyal from KSA. Thank you very much. He says, thanks for your live stream, Paul. You're very, very welcome. And a big welcome to all the Saudi Arabian new subscribers to the channel, by the way. It's great to have you on board for this magnificent ride that we're all going on.
I would like a shout out to anybody from Saudi Arabia as well. I'm an avid language learner. I love them. And I would like to pick up a bit of Arabic when I can. So if anybody is interested in language exchanges and things of that nature, it would be nice for me to be able to say thank you and say a few words. So just ping me on Twitter, not a problem.
There you go. Yeah. And, this man wants to become multilingual, i.e. Chinese and things like that. Not bothering with epoxy French or anything like that, but hashtag Frenchness. The Premier League is corrupt. Don't worry about it, says Ian. Spider says, I agree with Stato 100%. If they don't up their game, Adidas and others will pull in ASAP. Yeah, well, of course they will, because, it's now not a matter of finding the cheapest manufacturers to make the strips. Although I have to say, I've said this all along about Castoria. I think it is a very, very expensive brand. I think some of the prices are way out of hand, and I sometimes think that they forget that the way things are in the world at the minute, and the cost of living, etc., it's very, very difficult for us to pull out money to buy hoodies for 80 quid. I mean, come on, it's ridiculous. So I think they have to look at the price structure as well. I mean, the cost of replica shirts, that's a problem across the whole football and board, isn't it? I mean, you know, you look at the price, some are 65 quid. I mean, Arsenal's, I think, was selling for 80 last year. That's something that needs addressing, Billy.
Oh, couldn't agree more. It's supposed to be a working class game, and here we are having to pay, getting on for £100 for a shirt. Going to a match with a couple of kids, you ain't going to come in with change from 120, 30 quid.
Absolutely.
For something that's supposed to be a working class game, yeah, I think money's took over. And at times, I do wish it went back to the old ways how it used to be, where you could pick up a shirt for 30 quid and get in a game for 20 quid. And them days are well gone, I'm afraid.
George says, I heard the Greggs are going to be our new sponsor, just waiting for it to come out of the oven. These are the jokes I have to put up with at the football games, at the home games, you know, sitting with George and Leon next to us. I mean, you know, honestly, it's just, George, I think you need to get some new jokes found out for next season, mate. That is a Sinclair for you right there. So we'll look at some more comments. City are buying the Brighton left back.
Yeah.
Amazing job with the intro, Susan. Indeed, it's fantastic. It's a brilliant intro. Really love it. And you know, it's got all of us on and the mods, which is what it's all about. Jordan says, I watched your stream from last night, lads, literally 10 minutes ago. First time watching, and absolutely amazing. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Jordan. I hope you got yourself subscribed, matey, and welcome to the family. Dylan says, do any of you watch much of or keep an eye on the Brazilian league? There's a lot of young talent. It's difficult to watch, though, isn't it? The Brazilian league, certainly here in the UK. I mean, what's it been like in Poland?
I've watched little bits of it, but it wasn't not in the last 6 months. It was purely out of just my nerdiness for football. Like, it was sort of October, November time.
Yeah.
I was awake later and was just watching bits and bobs that were on, because there were streams available that were, you know, legal streams from Brazil. And you know what, it's you know, if you're bored, sometimes watching Mexico, Argentina, and Brazil leagues, they've got some reasonably good football, play different ways. But it's, I'm not good enough to know who and all the squad depths and leagues. That's why we got professional scouts who go out there and know the country, know the setups, and it's that's a tough ask.
Well, maybe Mr. Ashworth will send somebody out.
I'm not
there.
going to pretend I know anything beyond like Flamengo and Boca Juniors. Like, very limited.
Aren't Boca? Hang on.
Different leagues, yeah. I think, yeah.
Or something. Well, Brazil, Boca Juniors is Argentina, but we'll step over that, Alex. It's all right. David says, I suppose Greggs have the door. Good evening, Dublin Magpie. Hope you're well, buddy. Conrad says he likes Bassey of Rangers at left back. Good evening, Ian. Hope you're well, buddy. Billy Ford Pants, dear me.
Never going to let down.
Johannes, evening, chap. Still can't imagine the mountain that is for Ashworth to build a first team, women's team, and youth teams. It's a big hill to climb. It is a very big hill to climb, but he comes with a fantastic CV, and he obviously wants that challenge of building this mountain. And I can't wait to see what he does. I can't wait till he sort of combines everything, Billy, from the youth teams, the ladies teams, and the men's team, all under the one umbrella.
Well, this is what he's done at other clubs. And as I said before with Peterborough, he went to Cambridge. The only one name I can see of note there was Bradley Johnson, who had a fairly good Premier League career. Derby, Leeds, Blackburn, I think he played for as well. But then he went to West Bromwich Albion. This is where his stock rose hugely. This is what got him the England job. He managed to get that under his tutelage. I think they finished 9th in the league one year, and Premier League. And we can all remember the battles we had with them in the Championship. Players that he brought into the club. Jonas Olsson, the centre half. We all hated him when he played against us because he was dirty as hell, but great defender. Graham Dorrans, a very skillful midfield player. He's all picked up on a next to nothing.
Yeah.
Peter Odom-Wingy, obviously remember him. Trying to get his move to QPR.
Now, how can we forget Odom-Wingy? Dear me, that was one of the funniest transfer windows I've ever seen. Absolutely incredible, that, wasn't it?
But he paid next to nothing for him. Jakob, Macaulay. He also managed to bring Romelu Lukaku on loan and give him his first real chance in English football for West Bromwich Albion from Chelsea. He scored 17 goals for them. Yeah. He did indeed. He kind of instructed them to sign a young Nemanja Matic for £225,000. The board didn't go through for it, but we've all seen what the player Matic became after that. And when he left to go to England, this is when West Bromwich Albion fans say their club went down the pan. Every West Bromwich Albion fan I've spoken to has got nothing but high praise for what the work Dan Ashworth did at West Bromwich Albion.
Yeah, he's very well respected throughout the football and fraternity, and it's certainly in the UK and with international level. V says, do you know when the mugs will be going out yet? Just asking, I've missed a few streams. The order went in on Sunday night to the manufacturer because she'd been away on vacation. We should get them back by hopefully the end of this week, early next. And then as soon as we get them, they're basically being labeled up and away out to you guys. So it shouldn't be too long. But thanks for your patience. But obviously, the manufacturer's away on vacation. We can't do much about that. But she's back now and the order's in. So it won't be too long. Dan says other clubs are already copying our target. It's going to get even worse now we have Ashworth. David says, hi lads, what an exciting time to be an NUFC fan. I fully believe we'll be AI for T. Somebody want to tell me what that means?
Aiming for the title? I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows? Right, who's next, Alex?
Keeping it themed, we'll stay on
God
Manchester City.
almighty.
I mentioned his name. That didn't sound very positive for you, Paul. Not
Well,
keen
what
on
do you
this?
come on? Nah.
I like him.
Oh, Billy.
I do. I've always liked him.
Right, Alex. I know Danielle gets very convinced when you start giving stats out and saying why we should sign players, etc. Is there anything you're going to say here which will convince me that Nathan Ake will be a good signing for Newcastle United?
Well, yeah, probably all of it. But I'm interested to know why you don't like him. What's the? So we can quickly get to what the issue is and maybe what don't you like about him? Is it mistakes or play?
The times I've seen him play, he's made a lot of mistakes. Now, listen, the stats may say otherwise, and I'm open to listening. I just think that there is better quality out there than Nathan Ake. But having said that, Pep Guardiola signed him, so he must have seen something in him. But yeah, go on. Let's have a look at him.
Yeah, so he's made mistakes. I mean, this is the reason Maguire's in the situation that he is. Mings is the player that he is. Playing this kind of way as a ball-playing defender, trying to take risks, you make mistakes sometimes. I mean, everybody remembers John Stones a few years ago. It happens when you're trying to be a ball-playing defender. Sometimes luck can go the wrong way, or you switch off for a second. It happens. We've got a lot of defenders with the funny reputation, but they're quality players. And Ake, again, as you said, was picked up by Pep. 27, bang on peak age as a centre back. We could probably this sort of player you could play through all the way through to 32, 33 years old. Absolutely fine. Left-footed as well. So it's a similar conversation we had to the Longley question yesterday. We have been aggressively pursuing a younger left-footed centre-back, so this would be a different direction. But he's ready-made. He plays in a high possession, the most dominant team in the league by a long way. So passes and playing in this way is not a new thing for him. He fills in at fullback, or has done as well. Does a very similar job. So statistically, there's nothing I can say there's nothing new I can say about him. It's purely about his ability to bring the ball out, to pass it accurately, to progress the ball, to be calm in possession, which is what we need. There was a journalist, not a journalist, I think he was what's his name? Like an analysis person who was really scared about his aerial duels for some reason, and that he's had an unusually good season in the air, but he never normally does. I'm not that bothered about that, to be honest. My criticism against that was Cher actually had a much worse aerial duel success rate than Ake does now.
Mm-hmm.
And the way we offset that is Dan Burn does everything. That's literally the whole point. In the same way that in a double pivot, like it's the same way with centre-backs as well. In the same way that Souček and Rice, Souček will go for the aerial duels. It's the same throughout football. So if we were going to have Ake, our right-sided centre-back would have to be a bit more dominant in the air, or they'd have to share the duty. I don't think we should just shut him out because he doesn't win headers. But he does win a lot of headers. He's done fine this season. Not played a ton of minutes. Not even 1,000 minutes in the league. Played in the Champions League. There's not too much else to say regarding Ake. He is basically the same way I described Fabian Ruiz. He is a typical ball-playing Manchester City type player who's good in possession, used to dominance, and he plays in a position we are after somebody. We want more defenders, and we want another left-sided one, because if Burns injured, we are knackered for that side, and we need somebody, whether it's a development player or a better player. We need one. We absolutely need one this summer. So I don't know if it'll be considered. Possibly.
Yeah.
I have a theory about Ake and his mistakes.
Just one second, Billy, because I'm going to ask you in a minute why you like Ake. So if you just bear with us a second, because we've had another 100 real from KSA again. Thank you so much. Really, really kind of you. He's just put the comment Toon Army. Now, as you know, we'll just pause there to say if you are new to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button. We've got about nearly 200 subs in 3 days, which is fantastic. It's incredible. So we want to keep building as high as we can go. And if you want the best shows and news as it comes in, then do please subscribe. Recorded videos and live shows all the time on here, and we will keep you all updated throughout the transfer window and well into the season, of course. So please do hit the notification bell as well, which will let you know if we upload or we go live. And you can become a member of the Toon Review as well if you hit that join button. You can donate to the channel as well, we have had some fantastic ones tonight. If you hit the super chat button, the $ at the bottom of the live comments, that will take you through that way. You also get your comment read out straight away as well, because it pops up right in front of me before I have to scroll down to it. So that's another bonus as well. And we do have a website now open for merchandise, which is selling the Toon Review mugs on there at the minute, which are going really well. We will have a lot more coming up. There's going to be caps, hoodies, shirts. Susan's designing all the time, put it that way. She's doing one where we're all arrested. We're standing in front of a board, like they do when you get arrested with daft things of what we're being arrested for. And I believe mine's going to be getting arrested for tickling my tonsils with a lion bar. But anyway, guys, have a look at this.
So let's get down to business.
I've been waiting, think I wanna make that move now. Baby, tell me if you like it. Tell me if you like it now. I've been waiting, think I'm gonna make that move now. Baby, tell me how you like it.
Let's get down to business.
So there you go, guys. The website is there, www.thetoonreview.co.uk. Go and get your mugs, and of course, much, much more merchandise coming within the next couple of weeks. Okay, Billy. So you said before Nathan Ake's name was mentioned there that you like him. Go on, state your case.
Well, Eddie Howe signed for Bournemouth, of course, and he performed admirably for those as a first choice centre back. Very few mistakes. Went to Man City, obviously smaller fish in a bigger pond. Didn't play half as much, even a third as much. And when he did play, it was very sparingly. And then he did make mistakes, but he was rusty then. He hadn't played consistent football. When he did get a run of games last year, he was outstanding. And the last kind of 4 or 5 games he played, I remember one game against, might have been Champions League game, where it was absolutely phenomenal when they were really under pressure. Some great last-ditch tackles. So with a run of games under his belt, this lad's a really good player. Yeah, and I think he'd be a fantastic acquisition. I really do. Okay. And he's quick, and he's really quick.
And you mentioned something about the mistake. Is that simply because he was, like you've mentioned there?
I don't think he played enough football to kind of keep him in the swing of things. And when he did get a run of games, then mistakes kind of went. So yeah, I'd say so.
He hasn't had any mistakes this season. 0 leading to goals, 0 leading to shots, and he's not committed any penalties. So, but he hasn't. He's not played that much this year. So
again, why? Obviously we said that
Because Laporte is better.
Well, I know that, but Pep brought him in, didn't he? So, and then suddenly Pep's not giving him a lot of games. I mean, what does that tell you?
So they wanted 2 world-class left-footed centre-backs. They want a good enough player in every position, don't they? It's Man City.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but geez, you've got an answer for everything. You have bloody Stato. On Rashford, the thing is, imagine the influence war Eddie would have on him. The more I hear about Memphis Depay, the more I think he'd fit in brilliantly. I'm a big fan of Memphis Depay. I think he'd be superb. Colin says he heard Saudi Airlines is our new sponsor. I'd take Rashford, said Miggs, ahead of Zinchenko personally, but you're getting linked to everyone. Well, we knew that was going to happen, didn't we? Every man and his dog. Yeah, exactly. Right, next player on the list tonight is Nicolo Zaniolo, or Zaniolo, whatever he's called.
Yeah, Zaniolo. So John will love this one. Serie A, Italian. Really, really excited when I saw the links, and then really, really disappointed when I did the research. Because I remember watching this lad quite a bit, and he was the next best thing. He was very, very, very good. Obviously, he's just scored in the Conference League final for Mourinho's Roma.
Mm-hmm.
Not played an awful lot in recent seasons. Somehow has managed 2,000 minutes this season, and I'll explain why I'm surprised by that. Very unlucky in front of goal. Should have scored 5, has only scored 2. Has close to 3 assists, but actually only has 1. So he's massively underperforming all of his expected numbers, which is bizarre. Bonkers output in the Conference League, but they played some absolute dross. I think he scored 4 in 1 game. So a little bit inflated there in terms of his 8 goal contributions in the Conference League.
Mm-hmm.
Statistically, well, we didn't even talk about his age. He's about to turn 23. As an attacking midfielder, typically plays wide right. So inverted with the left foot, kind of what we're looking for. 6'2", nearly 6'3". So he's not tiny. Dribbly, progressive. Very wonky stats here, but it's kind of skewed towards getting the ball forward, staying high, lots of touches in the attacking penalty area. He's receiving a lot of passes high up and does a lot of dribbles and has a lot of shots. So the problem with him, I mean, we will look at his SOFA score, but the issue is this. This is really bad. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to read that out. Everybody can read. That's a lot of injuries. That's a lot of injuries. And he's not even 23.
That would worry me. I mean, that is a red flag straight away, because he's 23 years of age. And 23 years of age with an injury record like that, that's
2 cruciate ligaments.
Yeah, cruciate ligaments are in there.
Mean, we can forgive him for the Rona and the bruising.
Yes,
but lots of muscular issues and 2 cruciates.
No, not having it. That's a major red flag to me straight away. Absolutely huge.
So SOFA score, he fits for where we need. Right wing, attacking midfielder, right-sided with the left foot. It fits what we need.
Yeah.
I'm trying to entertain the idea, and I'm very disappointed because as soon as I saw the link, I was like, oh my god, yeah, he's amazing. And then I actually hadn't been paying much attention to how he'd been performing in the last year or 2, and it is disappointing. It's a shame.
Yeah.
So and if we scroll down, yeah, look at that recent months. Just look at all those little injury crosses. It's so sad. Yeah.
He's a no from me. I mean, simply because of the injuries, and the injuries factoring with his wage, Billy. I mean, that surely that's a red flag.
I'm not even sure. He'd pass a medical looking at that kind of fitness regime. Yeah, definitely no for me. Way too risky.
I mean, when you see a 23-year-old with an injury record like that, with 2 cruciate ligament injuries, you just, like you say, Billy, how the hell would he get through a medical? He's practically robotic. Ryan says, listen to this one. Barca are unable to register Kessie and Christensen due to financial troubles. Frank Kessie is up for grabs. I did read that this morning. Spanish media outlet. But listen, I'm sure they'll get round it somehow. They always seem to manage to do that. They're very clever at getting around things like that, Barcelona. So probably expect an announcement later on the week that they've managed to bring them in. You can't have gambling sponsors on the Premier League from next year also. Yep, indeed. I forgot about that. Rafinha, 45 million, cheap as chips. That's from a Leeds fan. Why are you advertising Rafinha? I'm a bit staggered by that. I thought you'd want to keep him. Would anybody take Diaz or Mitro as a backup striker for Wilson? Mitro's name keeps popping up, doesn't he? Nobody's saying anything. Everybody just keep the up shut.
Yeah, better options, surely.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I'm sure there is. Daniel says Aston Castle. Fair enough. 85 million yen is like 600,000 pounds, Alex.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll
that's probably what he's been worth on his performances this season. Bullshark says no alcohol or gambling sponsors. Should probably be no crypto either because that's gambling. I haven't a clue about crypto. I'm not into all that sort of stuff. No idea. People keep saying to me, "Oh, you want to get yourself invested into crypto?" And I'm like, "Well,
meant to be a new like a Ponzi scheme, isn't it?" So
yeah. It's a
keep
bit
out
like,
of it.
is it not like Bitcoin or what Bitcoin was? You know, when all that fad went off. Gary Scott Wishart, thank you for your £5 super chat, mate. He's so kind. He says, "Does Ashworth work alongside Nixon?" I would imagine they will. Yeah. I don't think Nixon will be going anywhere. So I think it'll be a combined team effort. You know, you've got Nixon there now. You've got Ashworth. You've got Eddie Howe. You know, and his staff as well. So, you know, there's a whole host of them now. Stephen says, it's great being a Toon fan again, man. All these players we are being linked with, it's amazing. This time last year, we'd have been happy with Peter Crouch. I would have been happy with Peter Crouch. He's better than bloody Chris Wood. Newcastle fan since 93-94. If we can get Hugo, Paqueta, Botman, Target, I'd be happy with that. Shirt sales go worldwide, not just sold in Saudi. Yes, I know, Ronald, obviously, but Saudi, without being our owners, they want to promote the club in Saudi Arabia. That is the whole, you know, they want to expand the business. A few more super chats and you'll nearly be there, says Bull Shark. No, not happening, matey. Evening, Nezeth. I hope you're well. Craig says they could buy Fun 88 out but defeats the purpose of making money on sponsors when you're paying them. Let's go ham. And go for Mitrovic just for the crack. I'm not sure what ham is. Well, that day will surely come, Paul, says Ryan. I'm not sure what day you're on about. Question for Billy. Paul Gascoigne or Bruno Gomes?
Very good question. Newcastle United, Paul Gascoigne against Newcastle United, Bruno Gomes. I'll say Bruno, but 1990 Paul Gascoigne is one of the greatest midfielders I've seen. So 1990 Paul Gascoigne over Bruno. Do
you remember Gazza's? I can't remember who it was against. I was in the Gallagher. And he hit that kind of chipped shot, and it got stuck in the stanchion right in. Yeah, it was that accurate in the postage stamp. Can you remember it, Billy? It might have been. The ball didn't come down; it stuck in the goal, didn't it? And I just always remember that. I mean, that's one of the games that I can remember getting thrown to the front of the Gallagher as usual. You know, didn't see me dad for the 90 minutes. You know, but all the kids just waiting at the front for the dads to come and pick them up after the match. With that stale smell of urine coming from the outdoor toilets in the Gallagher. The days.
If you were lucky.
Yeah. Colin says, one of the other NUFC channels says, good source at Saudi Airlines for 13 million, but don't know till it happens. Yeah, I mean, if it's Saudi Airlines, fair enough. Obviously, we'll find out sooner or later. Carde says, Alex, Billy and Paul, who do you want, Vindica, Lloyd Kelly or Botman? Alex?
I'd take Botman.
Okay.
Lloyd Kelly's proven at Championship, and Dika's very good as well. Plays in a back three at the moment, though. I just prefer Botman because I've seen a lot more of him and know what we'd get. So,
yeah, Billy.
Yeah, I tend to agree with Botman. Wouldn't mind Ndika though.
Yeah, for me, it's Ndika or Botman, I think. We've got another £5 super chat in from Austin. Thank you very much, Austin. He says, evening all, what about Jeremy Doku? I remember rumour back in February.
Yeah, we did him on a show recently.
Yeah, we did.
He's what was the conclusion there? Was it injury or was it time? I think he had a pretty bad injury or injury record. Very, very explosive. I don't want to misquote myself because I can't remember exactly what it was. You'd have to go and have a look. But we've talked about him recently in one of the last 4 or 5 transfer shows. So interesting player.
Yeah. And of course, Almiron's agent, of course, said he's going nowhere. So certainly, well, he's going nowhere if we've planked a £60 million release clause on him. That's a certainty. Or if that's what we're wanting for him, he'll get nothing.
Swap him for Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Definitely. Chi, good morning out there in Singapore. Hope you're well. Amazing donation, says Scott. Yes, it is 100%. So incredible. Thank you. Adrian says great support. You guys deserve it. Thank you. Get the lad a cup for that donation. Everybody's saying thank you to Nawaf. Definitely 100%. Good evening, Simon. Hope you're well. Luke is not a fan of Zinchenko. I don't understand why, Luke. I've seen you put a couple of negative comments in about Zinchenko, but again, your opinion, my man. You're welcome to it. But you need to back it up. You know, why do you not think Zinchenko is good enough for Newcastle United? Davey says, get Ralph Lauren. At least XL is XL, and we're the richest club in the world. Oh, can you imagine? Replica tops by Ralph Lauren. We're just complaining about prices now for Castoria. Now, Ralph bloody Lauren. Oh, would you like a shirt, sir? Yes, how much are they? £250, sir.
I'm surprised nobody's done that. I'm surprised there's not a rich club that's just for a laugh tried to approach a designer as opposed to a sports company and just gone, yeah, let's sort it out. I'm surprised nobody's ever tried it.
Yeah. Ian says Team America is a good way of learning Arabic. What's Team America? Am I missing something there?
I'll tell you later.
All right. Okay. Stop it, Ian. We don't promote or we don't cause warring on this channel with other countries. You know I'm against it. Godfather says this is how it should be. Instead of hating our ownership. Ryan says, wow, Paul, I'm offended. I'm not sure what you're offended at, Ryan, but you are Canadian. You get very upset very easily. Love you. John says, is Cornet available from Burnley, and do you think it would be a good signing? I've heard nothing on Cornet, Billy. It's very quiet, but it's still very early days, of course, isn't it?
No, I think nothing's sure that we don't believe in Burnley, though, but whether he fits our blueprint or not, who knows? He's certainly got the quality.
Mark says, I paid £160 for a Castoria hoodie, and the quality is shite, very poor. I bought it about 4 months ago. I bought a Castoria T-shirt, which had obviously Newcastle's logo on and that. Now it was 5XL, right? Because normally I would get away with it. I've got Nike T-shirts that are 3XL and that are baggy on me, so that's how bad Castoria's sizing is. And I put it in the wash. And by the way, Danielle, if you're watching, it was inside out under 30 degrees. And I took it out, and I swear to God, I could use it as a pair of boxer shorts. It was that bad. So you pay all that money, and I totally agree, Mark. The quality has got to improve. Otherwise, the Newcastle just say, hey, the feedback we're getting from the fans, you stink. We'll see you later. Colin says, Paul, Billy, Alex, what was your favourite shirt? Mine was Newcastle Brown Ale with button-up collar, Adidas 95. I loved the Adidas 95 shirt. The away one was nice as well. You've got to look at the Adidas shirts really for your favourite ones, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Alex, you saying anything on the shirts, or you just?
No, I agree. Adidas for sure, because it was we all had the boots when I was young, because I was born very early 90s. So it was. The fondest memory for me was as we transitioned from Brown Ale to NTL, and I met Shearer and some of the players and Gary Speed and stuff. I in the NTL shirts. So that's those are the shirts that stick in my mind the most. With the collars, when we used to have the collars on them and stuff. It's kind of what I enjoy, but it's more sentimental than anything.
Yeah. £5 from George. Who I knew he'd respond. If you're going to keep on giving me a Sinclair, then get Susan to design a real trophy. A Sinclair trophy, bloody hell. Well, Jason needs to do that because he's the one that's always giving out the Sinclairs, isn't he? John says, Billy, it's been a long time since it was a working man's game. With most of the owners, it's all about them, not the fans.
Couldn't agree more.
I just love the South American commentators shouting goal. I actually do that on my watch-alongs now. I was told to quite a while back. So anything happens on the watch-alongs. Anyway, next player we have is William Saliba.
Yeah, so I had 1,000,001 people arguing with me that we should get him over Botman, and I was getting really frustrated because one plays right-sided centre-back, one plays left-sided centre-back, and it was doing my nut in so much. They are both good players. That is fair enough. So obviously from Arsenal, been on loan at Marseille this year, done exceptionally well.
Yep.
I'm still uncertain as to whether there's even a point in looking into it, because we are going to be a major direct rival to Arsenal next season. They might not even want to sell him, never mind to us. But again, a lot of minutes, 36 appearances in Ligue 1 plus Europa League, and then drops into the conference. So he's played all the minutes and he's done very, very well. At only 21 years old, he's a big centre half as well at 6 foot, nearly 6'4".
Yeah.
And yes, fits exactly what we want. A centre half who is solid, consistent, young, and can pass the ball. 86 passes attempted per 90, and he's completing pretty much all of them, to be honest, at nearly a 94% success rate. He progresses the ball through passing, through carrying, and is just very, very, very tidy for such a young age. And he's done it at various levels. But again, I don't want to entertain this too much unless we get a bit more bite in the rumours, because in the way that we've looked at Lodi and certain players, because there's been a lot more interest, I feel like there's the opposite side of the coin. I feel like this is so unlikely. I'm unwilling to go too deep into it because it's a direct rival and he'd cost an arm and a leg. So would I take him? Absolutely yes, in a heartbeat. He would go straight in. Arguably, he would be fighting to go ahead of Shah straight away. Depends on how they perform in training, what they want to do. But again, what are Arsenal going to want if they even want to sell him? Depends if they want to generate funds, because they've been talking about a lot of players, to be fair, with Gabriel Jesus and other players they're interested in. So if they want to generate some funds and they're not keen on him, maybe. I
think Saliba's been branded around a few clubs, to be honest. I don't think it's just us.
I mean, he's been branded around enough that I have to talk about him on a show because people keep mentioning him all the time.
Yeah,
and he has been linked, but again, it's a long shot.
Yeah. Johannes Lindholm, thank you for your 50 Swedish krona. Really kind of you, mate. He says, question to all three: all-time favorite player wearing the beautiful black and white. Well, Billy,
Peter Beardsley for me.
Yeah, Alex.
It's got to be Shearer.
Mine's Shea Given. So there you go. 3 different players. Spider says, Paul, have you asked our brother fans in Saudi, do they have any inside info on sponsors? I have asked a couple, but they know as much as us. Everything is being kept very tight-lipped. So that will possibly tell me that maybe we're getting a new sponsor if it's all so tight-lipped. Because to be honest, if it was going to be Fun 88, surely they would have told us it was going to be Fun 88. You know,
if it was nailed on to be continuing, there wouldn't be this much silence and secrecy, would there?
No,
absolutely. You got another player there, Alex? Yeah,
I just got one more I've thrown on purely because I want to strike it off the list because I'm bored of talking about him. We've not looked at him specifically because there was so much in the Lodi and Target negotiations that I didn't see the point in going too crazy on Aaron Hickey, especially because there's been a ton of outlets today reporting that Arsenal are in the lead and all of this nonsense. But we'll have a look because he's been mentioned, and you never know what if something magical happens with Lodi and Target and we get none. Maybe we'll turn our attention to Aaron Hickey. About to turn 20 years old. Played in Serie A this season, and again has played all the minutes. He's actually done 34 starts from 36 appearances, nearly 3,000 minutes. Scored 5 goals, which is pretty bonkers for a fullback and somebody of his age as well. Bit weird to see that FB refs think he's only 60% left-footed. So supposedly quite good with both feet. Is quite small. We've already had a few issues this season with Matt Target not getting caught out with the back post, but getting trapped at the back post and not being able to.
I like Aaron Hickey. I really like Aaron Hickey.
Well, he looks good as a fullback. He can pass.
Yeah.
He's energetic. The pressures don't necessarily suggest that. And he's an interesting player. I mean, we can get more information from his Sofa score. It gives us a bit more of a view. He's an average performer in terms of his rating. You can see where he's spending most of his time mid-match. The actual team themselves finished 13th on 46 points in a similar situation to us, with similar amounts of goals scored and conceded. So they're in that kind of mix. They're not a dominant team at all. But for somebody of his age, I will agree with everybody. For somebody at 19 to go and do this is incredible, absolutely amazing, and does deserve a lot of credit and respect. I just don't see the point in going too crazy in how he would fit with us, yada yada, because again, there seems to be Lodi and Target ahead of him in the queue for us. So if that changes, we can then go and have a look at how we would fit in a detailed way.
Fair enough.
But there we go. He's off the list for now, unless there's anything more concrete comes out.
Okay. Jeanette Johnson, thank you very much for your £5 super chat. Really kind. She says, hi, Zippy and George. Been away for a while and it's just gone off my screen. She mentioned a player there, but I'll catch up with that comment shortly. Billy, what do you think about Aaron Hickey? Somebody you would be interested in having?
He's got massive potential, doing all these things now at 19.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of surprised, although I'm not surprised Arsenal loaned for him, given they have Kieran Tierney, but he's very injury-prone, Tierney, isn't he?
Yeah,
so,
he is.
I mean, I can understand why Arsenal are in for him. Yeah, we're after a left-back. We definitely need a quality left-back, and as Alex says, if we can't get the Loddies of this world, Matt Target, whatever, then obviously it'd be a great replacement for those. But this lad's not a finished article by any means, so, 5 6 years, so this lad could be proper world-class.
And it's something that, when we talk about these young players, it's players that, we know Eddie Howe would be excited to work with and can definitely bring on and excel. By the way, George, Susan has worked electrically fast. She's made a trophy for you for your little award tonight. So there you go. On the screen now. Hey! You are now a cartoon version, George. Well done on your Sinclair award. So there you go. Up on the screen. Congratulations, George. It's incredible how fast she works. I just don't know how she does it. Dylan says, as the young lad we signed from Galway United, not going to be the developmental left-sided centre half.
I think the word you need to change is into A. He will be a developmental centre half, not the developmental centre half.
This time, look, he's a young lad. There's time on his side, definitely. Davey says, if you like an occasional rant, subscribe. Well, it depends which of us has been on raw meat. I mean, you mentioned Manchester United and Danielle. She turns into a lion. Obviously, Alex turns green, starts ripping his clothes off. In a sense, Billy does that anyway. And me, I'll just wait for bad news to pop along and I'll just put the camera on and shout at it. So, if you like a good rant, this is the place to be. George, thank you for replying to your award with a £10 super chat. Really kind, buddy. And he says, I love you, Susan. So there you go. He's really happy with his little trophy there. Julie says, toll road passes, the lot are all on the Toon Review website. No, the bloody not. Don't be telling people that. Shocker, Julie. Although, it's something that maybe the M6 want to look at is maybe sponsoring us and then give some free toll road passes out to subscribers. That would be interesting. Now, I don't know how well this is going to come on camera, but this is the shirt that we are giving away. When I get myself sorted out here, it is a long sleeve shirt, and it is this one. Well, that's coming up on camera. It looks all right. With the old Adidas one. Do you remember that one, Billy?
Yeah. Shield on the back, is it?
No.
Yeah, that's shield number.
Solano.
Yeah, but the shield with the number on it.
Yes, the shield. Yeah, sorry, I thought you said Shearer. So there you go. Solano 24. It's a size XL, but it's the Adidas one, so it's quite a decent fit. But like I said, if it doesn't fit you and it doesn't fit any of the family, put it in a frame or something, or add it to your Newcastle collection. So we will make that draw in around 9 minutes' time when we come to the end of the show. So it's going to go to a member. So if you're not a member already, get that join button clicked, and you'll be in the draw straight away, because I found a randomizer now for my wonderful members of the channel. So it will pick a random member straight away. So we'll do that just before the end of the show. Michael says, Billy Ake used to make plenty of mistakes at Bournemouth. He's okay, but will cost a lot in terms of fee and wages. Can we not get better, cheaper, and younger?
Possibly.
Are my favourite people to wind down with after a hard day, says Nicholas, who, by the way, is no relation to Mike Dean, as he keeps saying. How's my psycho spooky chewing gum clown mug coming on? Dave, boil it. It ain't happening. You seem to have a crazy, weird fantasy about that, and it's not healthy. Not a fan of Depay at all, says Abs. Michael says, I thought you did Zaniolo before. Well, if we did, we did. There's that many bloody players. I'm not sure we have. But hey-ho. Nicholas says, fun fact, showed my ma a pic of Alex. She says, why does he look familiar? I said he got in touch. He thinks we have the same dad. Mum hit the roof. Dad found it hilarious. Brilliant. Anyone seen the War Mandy song? A tiny channel made it today. It's class. I'm not sure what channel did it, to be honest, or what it's about. I sang my Mandy channel, my Mandy song on the takeover. I will not be repeating it because it was just adrenaline made me get through that, to be honest. Troll says, we won't know who was signed or not before the window opens, so might have signed Target already. Yeah, but other teams have announced that, Troll, so I wouldn't understand why they haven't. But I guess we'll see when the window actually does open. Harry chaps, all is looking on the up for Newcastle. It is indeed. Just go through a few more comments before we end. You'd have to stitch the neck up if you're using your t-shirts as boxers.
What about the sleeve?
Stu says Adidas did our best strips by far. Those Adidas goalie kits were incredible too, Pavel and Xhaka. Well, they were colourful. You certainly couldn't miss them without a shadow of a doubt. They were there for everybody to see. Joey says the 2008-09 top was all right, but it wasn't an all right season. Ryan says, would take Saliba in a heartbeat. Great centre-back. Carl says, has Paul been talking to Steve Wraith? He too wants to see a certain CC at the Toon. I can't say his name. I'm not allowed to anymore. Listen, it's a sensible choice. That's all I'll say.
Colin Cooper.
Colin Cooper. There's a blast from the past. Middlesbrough, wasn't he? Saliba wants to stay at Marseille from what I heard, says Geordie Jack. Could we have a like button for other people's comments, please? No, that's up to YouTube. I've got no say in that at all. Paul has had a crush on somebody since last summer. No, I haven't. I think he's a very, very good player, and I'd love to see him in a black and white shirt, but it's not going to happen. I've come to accept that. John Stones from City could be an option.
Hell of a player.
I've not seen his name out and about in
No, I've
terms
never
of
seen
that
him
he's going to
linked.
be available. So
Yeah.
he's
The
an
one I'd
amazing
like-
player, but
The English one I'd like is Joe Gomez. I think he's an awesome player.
Very good. Very, very good player. Gallagher Brown joined the stream late, hoping I haven't missed any of Billy's under the radar gags. I generally can't tell if you guys ignore them on purpose. It cracks me up. When you come to know Billy and he comes out with certain things, it just kind of, it's one of those, Bisto gravy moments when everything goes silent and you just go, Bisto. Normally it's rude from Billy. I am Shearer. Welcome to the members club, matey. Thank you for joining the Toon Review family. Just in time to go in the draw. So Geordie Dan says maybe they can bring out an alcohol-free bottle of dog. Call it Newcastle Brown Ale Blue Star. Oh, I like it. Do you know what? I've never ever, right? I've got one at Susan's, but I have never, ever tasted Newcastle Brown Ale.
Really?
Nah, never, ever, ever tasted it.
A fine drop.
Is it nice? Is it?
Oh yeah, a cold bottle of dog. Can't beat it.
I know it's called dog. But is it a fridge thing, Billy? Get in the fridge for a couple hours and then.
Yeah, it needs to be cold, really.
Yeah, cool. I might try. I might. I'm a Budweiser man myself. You know what I mean? Just.
It might be a bit strong for you then.
Yeah. Well, speaking of strong, I remember a long time ago, before I was married, I was out with my partner's dad, and he was very much into drinking real ale. And I remember going out in South Shields with him once and going around a real ale sort of pub crawl. And I got to the fourth pub, and I had something sheep. I don't know what it was. It was sheep something. I didn't like it. I didn't like the taste of real ale. There was no fizz to it. It was just bland for me. But I was Billy Big Bollocks thinking, nothing's wrong with us. It's not affecting me at all. And I walked out of the pub and immediately, bang, flat on my face. Yeah, so very strong stuff. Alex, what were you going to say before?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention something. As people have been a bit itchy and impatient and a bit concerned that other clubs are making moves and people aren't sure what's going on. And I would just, in my opinion, I would relax a little bit. I wouldn't worry about it. We've got youth tournaments happening. We've got international football, Nations League going on right now. We've only just got Dan Ashworth through the door, and we're trying to sort out the shirt sponsors and the shirts. A lot of there's probably stuff already done that we just don't know about.
Absolutely, yeah.
They have their plans. It will have been planned properly, and I just hang on. They've got a lot of balls in the air at the same time, and there are things happening. I wouldn't. The transfer window is not even open yet. These other clubs that have made moves are because they've already their kit's sorted. They've got sporting directors in. They've already had. We've got things to sort out on top of that, and it's busy. So I wouldn't panic. I really wouldn't panic. I'd wait until June finishes, then have a rethink about how we've been getting on so far. Give it a full June. We need to slow down. It's a long transfer window.
I agree. David says that's what it was. Black sheep.
Black sheep. Yeah.
Evil shit. That evil. Not good. No, it's really not good. And it's
nails.
And Billy, you are a professional on this matter. It gives you extreme wind. You could actually take off with the amount of wind you have. It's just deadly stuff. Anyway, before we do the draw, thank you very much, everybody, for watching. If you are new to the channel, please remember to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. And thank you to everybody that has donated to the channel tonight. Absolutely incredible. Again, your kindness is just blows me away, as I say every single time. Do become a member of the Toon Review if you wish. Hit the join button just underneath. If you're watching a rerun of this, you can still donate to the channel. If you hit the thanks button, which is just along from the like button, it just says thanks with a $sign next to it. You can donate to the channel even when we're not on air. Thank you very much to Billy and Alex tonight. Thank you to the mods again for the fantastic work behind the scenes. And do join us on our socials. We have a Facebook group, Instagram, TikTok, Instagram. Get yourself on them all. Follow the Toon Review. Right, the draw for the Newcastle United shirt. Where's my little doodah machine? There it is. And I just hit go. All the names are in. It's taking a while, guys. It's just going through them all. And we have a winner. And the winner of the Newcastle United shirt is Louis. Well done, Louis.
He just put, I ain't winning this.
Oh, he has it all. Yeah, I just seen that. You have won it, mate. That's madness. Well done, buddy. Yeah, you have won it. So if you can contact me on by email, or if you're on, I think you're on Twitter, Louis. So drop me your address, matey, and I will get this sent out to you straight away. Chippers, I'm still waiting for his address. I've got Stu, so Stu, your mug will be getting sent out straight away as well. Louis, Callum, it's not rigged at all, mate. Trust me. I thought it had failed there for a second. It took so long, but never mind. Listen, lots more to come. I've got 2 other Newcastle United shirts to give away very soon. I'll show you which ones they are. We have this one, which is the old, it's gone right through my green screen, but it's yellow with green alls written on it, and that's still, it's brand new. Tag is on it. Came from the Score Draw official retro, and the size of that one is, I have no idea. Is it one of them inside? Oh, I don't look. Listen, it looks like an XL. This one as well. So there you go. Sorry, it's a double XL, this one. And we also have this one as well, which has been donated to give away as well, which is that one. So that one as well will be next. Well, one of them will be the next draw as well. But we're getting some cracking stuff in as well for prizes. Once all the merch comes out as well, we'll be obviously, giving away merch as well. So that should be great stuff. Right. That is it. We've come to the end of the show. Thank you for watching again. Fantastic viewing figures again tonight, guys. It's all down to yous. We will keep making these shows as long as you're enjoying them. As I say, any news that comes out tomorrow, we're expecting news. So we'll either go live or I'll do a recorded one. But either way, we'll see you tomorrow. And do join us. I think we're going to go live again on Thursday night with a show with the guys from Toon Trader. As well, so we'll talk about a few more names and transfers and latest news, and obviously those guys will explain their charity and what they're going to be doing and how to get involved with that. And then Friday night we've got the Loaded Toon Review show again with Pete Davey and Chris Hall from Loaded coming on with us to talk all things Newcastle, so that should be super as well. But thank you very much for watching, guys. Enjoy the rest of your night, and hopefully we'll have lots of news, good news coming in tomorrow. But in the meantime, be kind out there, take care, good night.
How are the lads?